Everybody knows the theme is Italian. Herein lies that trust. There's no spaghetti and meatballs. There's no chicken parm, things like that. There are a lot of those old school traditional Italian flavors throughout this entire menu. Everywhere from the northern part all the way to the bottom by the coast and onto both of the islands as well, including Sicily. So you'll see a lot of those flavors blended together. We'll go over some of those regions as we get through the menu. But it's going to be a really good time. We had a lot of fun putting this menu together. I'm not going to deny it wasn't a bit of a challenge, but I think this one's going to be over the top. I really hope you enjoy it. And once again, we appreciate your support, and I thank you. Got some fruity, you've got some hot and crunchy, a little bit of spicy grilled salami on the side, roasted red pepper salad to kind of bring the sweetness all together. A little bit of homemade focaccia that one of my staff made in the back that is absolutely dynamite. A little bit of lemon zest and rosemary in there as well. And olio verde with some aged balsamic in the bowl to kind of dip everything together. This is obviously the aperitivo, as we call it. This is supposed to get the palate started, get the appetite moving, and hopefully it does such. And enjoy.
Very popular wine is the 2016 Santa Margherita Pinot Grigio. This is something we do have on our wine list. Okay? Santa Margherita introduced the Pinot Grigio in 1980. It's become one of America's favorite premium wines. Recently voted the most popular imported wine, red or white, in top restaurants for the 11th consecutive year. And the Santa Margherita remains a favorite among wine enthusiasts for its crisp, light character, and consistent quality.
This is the antipasto course. A lot of times it's meat and cheeses. Traditionally they do a seafood course or a chilled seafood course like you have in front of you here. So we took some of the more prevalent, obviously Mediterranean style seafood. There's squid tossed in with that salad that's been lightly grilled and chilled. There's the clams that we poached, removed, tossed in a little olive oil and a little bit of vinaigrette. The mussels as well, those are Mediterranean style green lip mussels that we also tossed in a little red wine vinegar and some extra virgin olive oil, lightly poached. Octopus, to me screams Mediterranean. We blanched it very low temperature, very long time, almost overnight. You probably cut that with a fork. Tossed it in a little bit of olive oil again and burned it on the grill to give it a nice little char and chilled that down. And last but not least, although it's not Mediterranean, I figured you'd appreciate it, is the lobster. Yeah. So we took the lobsters, we blanched the claws, I took those shells and reduced it down over the course of 48 hours with some extra virgin olive oil to make a lobster oil to kind of hold that all together. And last but not least, one of my favorite accoutrements to seafood, especially in the Mediterranean Italian, is fennel. We got those little baby organic fennel that you'll see right around 11 o'clock on the dish. Same thing, we cone feed those in a little bit of seafood oil and olive oil overnight so they're nice and tender. It's probably almost smearable. You can use that to hold all those ingredients together. And last but not least, just add a little bit more lobster. Took the rest of the shells, reduced it down with a little bit of mascarpone cheese and heavy cream, and that's that little kind of cold style vichyssoise or bisque on the bottom of the plate. Just add a little bit of fat texture into the rest of the seafood. So we took some prime leg of lamb and braised it out over a long period of time with San Marzano tomatoes, a little bit of obviously red wine, shredded that out nice and tender. Used a little bit of the braising liquid and some ricotta cheese to make a nice giant braised lamb ravioli. Very Roman, very old school Italian to go with that to kind of cut the fat. On the side of the plate is some whipped ricotta. We made the ricotta in-house. Whole milk, lemon, the curds, the herbs, everything else. That's an in-house made ricotta as well as an in-house made ravioli. Something a little bit acidic to kind of cut through it. You've got some lemon zest on there to go with the sage. Obviously sage and lamb go together very well. That little pile of greens in the top right corner, right around 2:30. That's called a lemon verbena, very traditional Italian style herb that they grow in a lot of the white wine vintner areas. If you taste that, it almost got like a really refined, I hate to say it, but pledge style flavor. Yeah. But you put that in, mixed in with that lamb ravioli, whipped ricotta, and that braising liquid with some of the fresh sage, and I hope you enjoy it. So, thank you very much. So instead of throwing the mozzarella and the Parmesan out there, we took it a step further and made our own homemade cannoli shells and filled them with a whipped burrata cheese. Just kind of a savory version. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, just a savory version of a traditional Italian dessert. It's got a little bit of citrus in it. It's got a little bit of garlic and a little bit of olive oil. I think the cheese, the melon, the meat, and the salad, if you take a little bit of each just to kind of cleanse the palate before we get an entree, I think you'll really, really enjoy it. Thank you. We'll call this our second course, or our main course. Kept it very, very old school, Southern Italian traditional here and did a braciole. We purchased in a 30-day dry aged rib cap, the top of the prime rib, and used that as the meat for this. Traditional fillings, wild mushrooms, spinach, pine nuts, mine and hers of course, and yellow raisins. Rolled that all up, braised it in the tomato gravy for about 4.5 to 5 hours with some porcini mushrooms and some trumpet mushrooms. Once that was done, we retrieved it, we sliced it, we separated those trumpet and porcini mushrooms on top of the risotto. You'll see them off to the right. Finished with a little bit of shaved truffle and some fresh micro basil to kind of pull it all together, a little bit of sweetness. So I thoroughly think you'll enjoy this one. Last course, very traditional, tiramisu. It was a toss-up between this and a cannoli course, but I figured this was the way to go. And obviously we slid the cannoli into the salad, which I hope you enjoyed, but this is about as neo-traditional as it gets. We've got liqueur, espresso, and rum-soaked ladyfingers, the traditional mascarpone cream, the spice cream on top, some macerated strawberries and a little bit more of the Italian liqueur, some baked off chocolate crumble just to give it a little bit of texture. I think it hits all the flavors and the textures, the temperatures of a traditional tiramisu, and I really hope you enjoy this one. I think it's a nice closing. Thank you. Of having you all here, showing that you support what we do and what we're trying to do for our culinary and food and beverage operation here, and give you a small taste of the things we like to do, and hope that you enjoy it while we do so. So thank you very much.
Yes.